Boys, we're starting strong. Lift the cloche.
Getting trendy with Bendy. Go. Good start.
Lovely.
Oh, it's lovely and cold.
Not to be shotted, but by all means have a sniff and a taste.
It's very fruity. It's giving me like fruity Aperol
I'm getting
vibes.
ferment.
Yeah. I'm
Bitterness.
getting bitter.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
What's that, like 90% proof?
happy 9:30 in the morning, everyone.
Oh!
It's 22% ABV,
Okay, it's very
and we should point
alcoholic.
out you wouldn't typically drink it on its own neat.
Right, well, how am I supposed to give my honest opinions about... Oh, it's Moorish, isn't it?
We will get to that.
That bitterness on the tongue, very akin to the sort of Aperol Negroni style.
Campari.
Yeah.
And absolutely, you could just sip at it very slowly on the rocks. It also lends itself nicely to longer drinks, perhaps a spritz or similar, as an aperitivo.
Where's the sweetness coming from? Like, what fruit is that?
So
What is
Aperol and
that?
Camparis and things like that are orange-based, aren't they?
Yeah, orange, rhubarb, other botanicals, incredibly bitter, obviously Italian. So you have it either at the start, aperitivo, or as a digestif, and it will help with the digestion. But basically, it gets all this bit a bit more active because our body is wired to think that bitter is potentially toxic. So it's like, I need to be on high alert.
Oh, I didn't know that. This is brand new
great.
information.
The trend is that specifically in the UK, we're seeing a huge rise in Amaro, which is the category of these bitter or bitters. A threefold increase in the UK. Would you like this example in its whole form?
Yes, please.
So Mike, you've got a spritz, which is the Cipello, which is the name of this particular brand of Amaro. So it's made predominantly from gooseberry, but also with rhubarb and chuckleberry, and then a few...
Chuckleberry's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Chuckleberry's not a berry.
Are you saying that those two brothers from 90s kids TV
Chuckleberry.
Brothers, Chuckleberry.
Chuckleberry is a berry.
Chuckleberry?
Chuckleberry.
What does it taste like?
It's quite a sour, bitter berry. So yes, there is sweetness to it, but like rhubarb and like gooseberry, it is bitter hedgerow fruits from the Surrey Hills. Mike, you've got yours as a spritz with sparkling wine.
Lovely.
Jamie, you've got yours as a tonic, just with tonic water.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's absolutely summer in a glass.
It's like a this is gonna sound so basic. It tastes like a rosé, a sparkling rosé now.
Yeah, I mean,
not
you've
just
got-
in colour, but genuinely,
Which one
like
is?
because of the sparkling wine.
You've got the
The
winey
wine
notes.
comes through most, and then there's a bit of sweetness and bitterness.
That is like a rosé prosecco. Yeah.
But it's really nice, like a really nice one.
And it can be prepared in a shorter form like a Negroni or even just on its own on the rocks. 2021, Waitrose claimed there's a 148% rise in Aperol sales. Now I think everybody, a bit like the gin movement, everybody is jumping in and saying, actually, we can do a really lovely local seasonal artisanal version in the UK that isn't based on perhaps the more traditional Italian Aperol, Campari, limoncello spritz, all of those that would be based more in Italy, and there's lots of examples from France too.
Do you think the UK latches onto these types of things almost after they've become a real substantial thing in other parts of the world?
Yes and no. Actually, the UK has more food startups than pretty much anywhere else. Like, it's really, really pioneering in
No,
terms
I'm
of
not
food
saying-
startups. So I
No.
think we, as UK, actually lead the market in new products. But in terms of jumping on trends around pre-existing concepts elsewhere, everything from kombucha and like fermented teas that are millennia old to this drive from the continent, perhaps.
I'm actually talking about the regular person on the street and where their palate is in terms of development of awareness of flavours in comparison to other areas in the world. Maybe we are still a little further or less experienced in those types of flavours.
Perhaps, and it's also speeding up drastically because of social media, global curiosity and awareness. So the chuckleberry, only a small part of that particular drink, but it looks very much like a black currant.
Oh yeah.
Lots of botanicals, including wormwood, which you would find in something like absinthe. So those very, very strong scented botanicals, they're also in the drink. I think also in the UK, our drinking behaviours are changing. What might originally have been stand outside a pub and have a couple of pints of real ale is kind of losing favour, with actually really lovely, bright, maybe more Instagrammable spritzes and drinks.
I was going to say, and that's definitely a big trend that's coming, particularly with younger generations reaching adulthood. They are drinking less in general.
Nice.
Well, you're going to want a bloody question, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Okay, boys. Do you think it is imperative that people get some, or better to stick to what you know?
That's excellent.
That is one of the best ones we've ever done.
Great work. Lovely bit of business.
It is imperative that people start to taste this.
I agree.
Great. Drinks done. Do you want something else?
Yes, please.
We like the drink.
Now this one's a bit different. Lift the cloche.
They are my headphones, which are not a trend.
Where do you think we might be going with this?
Something about,
Audio experiences through eating food.
yeah, audio experiences changing the way that you taste or something like that.
Gastromusicology.
Oh, another made-up word.
It's not a made-up word.
Oh,
it is the study.
Sounds like an illness.
Yeah, all
It is the
words are made
study of exploring taste with sound. Sonic seasoning. It's something that's been explored, especially in high-end restaurants. Heston did something around this with the sound of the sea.
Yeah.
Long time ago, like a decade ago plus probably. However, there is a trend moving towards it now, which I think we'd like to explore. So, you've each got a pair of headphones. We're going to give you music to listen to as you eat something, and all we want you to do is describe what you're eating.
Wow, this is so cool.
Oh,
Love this.
nice. Okay.
Headphones on.
Are yours on?
These are noise cancelling ones, so I can't hear anything.
What?
Have a taste.
Are we just going to shout what we're experiencing?
Yep.
I mean, in my
You don't
headphones,
need to shout.
my headphones is just dissonant clarinets and horns. It sounds uncomfortable to listen to.
This is what Mike's listening to. What are you tasting, Jamie? Jamie, what are you tasting? We haven't thought this experiment through. What are you tasting, Jamie?
Oh, yeah. It's a very mellow tasting yogurt. Possibly some citrus. Maybe a little bit of lemon juice. There's
Okay.
like a zing to it.
This is what Jamie's listening to. What are you listening to?
Very calming piano and tinkly music. Ding, ding, ding. Soft strings. It's very, calming and mellow.
It's really fascinating in that, so the music that's coming through my headphones really like dissonant, clashing brass and clarinets, but there's no rhythm to it. So it's so sporadic, your brain can't even pick up a tempo or a regularity to it. And therefore it's so distracting that whilst you're eating, I'm like, this is yogurt, this is sweet, but it's almost like that my brain can't go any deeper into understanding any more of the nuances of the ingredient because it's so distracted through what's going on in my ears.
You can take your headphones off now. You were both eating the same honey yogurt.
Honey?
Mike actually got the sweetness of the honey, Jamie didn't, and we were expecting it to be the other way around. Sample of 2 didn't work, kind of irrelevant because the actual science has been done with samples of hundreds under proper test conditions and has been proven to work.
Also, I think maybe we didn't understand the question in that if you'd have perhaps asked, what's the thing that you're tasting most? I would have definitely said sour. Like, I was describing almost in general everything.
What I do think you might have been experiencing, Mike, is cross-modal perception. It's when you hear a sound, but you're watching someone pronounce a different sound and your brain is struggling to compute the two. You were so distracted by one. You've ever seen those videos go around the internet where it's like, listen to this sound depending on which words you're reading.
Yeah.
You hear the same thing, and it's that connection between what you're seeing and hearing. So other examples, cross-modal correspondence. For example, if you're listening to crackling fire, you may get more smoky notes and more kind of like association with if you're drinking whiskey by a fire. Authenticity. So brands that use particular cultural music to help sell a product. This is what they say. High-pitched, tinkling, chimes, light and airy music is said to enhance the perception of sugary sweetness, whereas lower frequencies, humming, deep bass, they enhance bitter notes in coffee and chocolate.
It's amazing how emotionally driven we are subconsciously, because all of those things provoke emotions. The question that we ask at the beginning of every podcast about the foodgasm, it feels like a very nonchalant type of question, but actually it comes from find ways to help people experience food in the most extreme way possible.
I think it taps into what feels right and what feels truthful. I think it's fascinating when you try and break down those individual elements and analyse them to try and understand what makes them land so well when they do naturally.
However, we're talking about food trends. This is something that's been around for a while. Charles Spence has done some phenomenal work in this matter. It's a book called Sense Hacking and literally how to unpick it. But more recently, there is a trend towards implementing this thinking into the likes of hospitals, where people are very anxious. There's lots of beeps and alarms and anxiety. Can you calm the mood down and perhaps play tracks that mean you can put less salt into food, but it still tastes as salty and as flavorful and as seasoned, and beginning to look at how you can apply this fun game and logic into something really very practical.
That's amazing, using it for those kind of practices. I think, yeah, that's incredible.
Gastromusicology, do you still think it's a made-up word?
Yeah, definitely.
All words are made up.
Like, absolutely, from the experience that we've just had, it has an impact. And the fact that there's a trend where people are trying to dissect it to use it for good, I think is cool.
In that case, is it the sweet sound of success, or does it just leave a sour note?
Very good, Eppers.
Lovely. I'm on a roll with these.
I've been thinking about these.
Your experiment didn't work the way that you wanted it to today, but I think there's definitely potential within it, and I'd love to explore it more. So I think it's the sweet sound of success.
I will give it a sceptical sweet sound of success.
And skeptics aside, we will link to some of Charles Spence's work downstairs because it's really interesting, well worth a read. Comment down below, have you ever experienced it yourself? Boys, are you ready for number 3? Number 3, lift away.
After you, sir.
What we got?
EDM snacks.
Phenomenons.
Phenomenons.
Chocolate Oaties.
Chocolate only better. Cahoots. Peanut and caramel. So why is it only better? Plant-based, climate neutral, people positive, better business.
Prodigy, and they do a number of different products, tick an awful lot of boxes in their B Corp status, but there is one that we'd like to hone in on. So this is a selection of the chocolates and bars and biscuits that they offer, but you're right, B Corp, more soluble fibre, so they're good for your gut, less sugar, they are plant-based, they are B Corp, they're better for communities, they foster inclusive, sustainable economy through the workplace and their practices. All of that exists. One thing we've not spoken about before, which is interesting that these guys do, they are the first plastic negative chocolate or confectioner in the UK.
Plastic negative? How are they removing plastic?
They take more plastic out of the planet than they do put in.
The packaging are compostable pouches, and the cardboard boxes are made from 95% recycled materials. However, there is an entire organisation called Repurpose that helps you to offset and basically plastic negative your business. What they do is for every chocolate that they sell and you consume, they remove 10 pieces of plastic from our oceans.
What do they do with the plastic? Repurpose it into packaging?
Most of it can be repurposed.
Okay.
Not all plastics can be, but at least they're contained and not in the oceans causing the troubles they are there.
So by eating this chocolate bar, I'm in fact, by proxy, taking 10 pieces of plastic out of the ocean.
I think it was the...
You can thank me later.
No, I think it was the point when Ben bought them.
I bought their selection box of 13 items
Yeah,
and removed 130 from the ocean, so well done me. Over the years, we've heard of a lot of other sort of carbon offsetting, tree planting initiatives. Some of them have had a little bit of controversy in recent years, and they're not necessarily all doing great things. But I'm trying to challenge in my own mind, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and your thoughts. There can't be anything bad about taking plastic out of our oceans.
At a simplistic level, there is nothing bad about that at all. What there is when you start to dig a little bit deeper is kind of back in the 90s, you remember computers for schools?
Yeah.
It was like, the more money you spend with us, get these vouchers and we'll give some computers to schools. And everyone went, yeah, that's great. And then after a while, everyone went, why do we have to
buy stuff?
Yeah, buy more
vouchers?
stuff. Just give the computers to schools, that's the good thing. But if the company has been set up with the mission to do that, they need to be able to fund a way of doing that. And if that's through creating chocolate biscuits or chocolate bars that people will enjoy, then it's a lovely circular thing.
Yeah, so the packaging in that box is compostable rather than plastic based. And to date, they have scooped, fished, gathered, I don't really know the technical term, 19 million plastic wrappers from the oceans in places like Indonesia.
Nice. What's lovely about what is now currently a trend-setting product is actually leading the way in how all of these types of things should be produced moving forward. And the more of these brands and companies that are doing good stuff, the big companies will have to adapt and change, otherwise they will get left behind, because these are all the things that people do care about.
Most of the bars, if you buy them in a box of 6, are just shy of £10, £9.95. That taster box with 13 different things, what a real selection, £18.95. In which case, is this a positive plastic in the box, or is it all a bit chocolate?
A positive plastic, I would say.
I think for those who can afford it, do. And therefore it's a positive plastic.
I've got one more for you if you'd like it.
Nah, we're all right.
Yeah, pretty much done,
Let's
actually.
wrap it up there.
Thanks for watching.
I'm intrigued by this one.
Oh, good.
More importantly, how one of you will react to it. Lift the cloche.
It's gonna be me, isn't it? It's gonna be me.
This one is not alcoholic.
Oh,
What is
I
it?
really smelt it.
I'm getting hints of pear.
No.
Interesting that you
It's got
say
warmth
pear.
or something
Is it
weird.
Slightly, you're saying spicy, you're sort of thinking prickly, or like what's the...
It's a familiar
it's
taste.
sweet. It's really familiar. It's almost got a warmth that, like it's got like chili in it. But what is that?
Or is it something you associate having jalapeno with? You know, like in a spicy margarita.
It's tequila. It's got tequila elements to it. That's it.
What you're drinking is cactus water. So it is tequila before it's been fermented. In the same way that grape juice is wine before it's been fermented.
Agave comes from cactus.
Yeah, obviously the cactus is
It's
a
a
large
species,
family
yeah.
and species of
Okay.
plants.
That makes absolute sense. That to me tastes like nice tequila. That tastes good to me. And there's no chance I'll try and take your trousers down.
Give him the real stuff.
I should stress this isn't currently available in the UK. It's a Spanish product that
really
I
like that.
saw at an event and
Smuggled it.
I literally smuggled it back. No, but it's so hot off the press in terms of it exists. If you think in Mexico, they would make a lot of drinks with all sorts of products. So if you've ever seen cactus grow, the fruit that grows on it, the pears that stick out of the cactus, looks quite alien if you've not seen it before, because it's not the way we associate pears growing, but hanging from trees. This particular producer is Spanish, but was inspired by a trip to Mexico where he saw cactus water as a healthy, no added sugar, naturally sweet. I mean, it's got sugar in it, as fruit juices do, but a very natural product.
It's watery. It's more water based than fruit juice, if that makes sense.
That's what I was going to say. It tastes like a diluted fruit juice, like cordial.
Yep.
I suppose, like it's been watered down.
It's got really nice sort of grassy, bittery smoothness throughout.
Herbal, herbaceous almost.
It's great. That is actually really cool.
I gave you the original, but they do flavoured versions with jalapeno or with lime and ginger. So this is pure Cacti, and they say 100% organic, no artificial flavours, no preservatives, no added sugars, no colours, no BS. Interestingly, this cactus, grown in Spain, needs 80% less water than most other crops. So in parts of the world that are really struggling through drought or using lots of water for irrigation, actually, maybe we need to start shifting from more thirsty fruits to something like cactus, which can survive in climate change in these regions.
Well, first and foremost, it's a drink product, so it needs to taste delicious. It is delicious, and it's really, really refreshing.
Yeah.
They claim, as with a lot of natural fruit and plant-based items, lots of anti-inflammatories, antioxidants, it's good for skin, it's high in all the things that we should be putting into our body. Currently on their site, £27 for a case of 12.
Cool.
So
I really like that.
So interesting new ingredient. I think the driver here is the challenges of climate change and arid countries, particularly in places like Spain, where other crops are struggling, and also the lack of inputs required in terms of fertilizers and the alike. The cactus is a very, very sturdy and resilient crop. So the question, cactus water, has it made your ears prick up, or should we all get rid of it?
My goodness.
Look at that.
These have been really strong today.
Yeah, they have very good.
My ears are pricked up. Conceptually, I think it's great, and the taste of this one in particular, I really, really like.
My ears have pricked up, definitely.
Great. What about your ears? Comment down below. Pricked or not?
What a question. What a question. You poor people.